What's going on, everyone? This is Jaran Miller with the Arkansas Sports Network. I want to appreciate all of y'all tuning in and watching Grillin the Razorbacks with me. Like I said last week in our first inaugural one of these, that I'm just a avid Razorback fan. Have been my entire life. Grew up watching the Hogs. It's been a family tradition, and so just want to kind of get into things real quickly here and break some things down. First off, I wasn't looking forward to this week, I can tell you that much. Last week, the theme of my video was I want to see this offense take a step in the right direction. Obviously, we didn't get that. If anything, we took a step back in a lot of ways. So we're just going to get into it quickly, though. Losing another game in Jerry's world, it's just tough to take because A&M has no business dominating us in this series. Now, once they came, obviously when Petrino was here the first time, we beat them 3 in a row down there. Once they came into the SEC, they have literally dominated us. Now, we've also been in some rough years, but at the same time, how many one-possession games have we had? How many close ones that somehow they find a way to win and we don't? I think we ended up 1 out of the last 11, so maybe 1 out of the last 12. No, I think it was 11. So just kind of dejected. It ticks you off. It makes you mad, especially when you play as bad as you did offensively and you have a chance to win the ball game. And I'm going to do another breakdown later on just the last play of the game in particular, and we're going to talk a lot about pass pro, and we're going to talk a lot about Taylen Green and that. But I just wanted to talk about that in a little bit of broader light here. So I got a friend at the Arkansas Sports Network that does a lot of our high school rankings, that a new segment we're doing with doing the top 10 breakdown every week from each class, 2A through 7A. And Carson Ward, and he was messaging me after the game last Saturday about, how can Jaquindon Jackson be leading the SEC in rushing, and I still feel like we don't run the ball enough. And basically my answer to that is, to me, what I'm seeing out there is I'm seeing Bobby Petrino seeing that early on in that game we weren't doing a great job running the football. We were getting a little bit, but not much. A&M was doing a great job, and he's calling pass plays because the run game's not working very well. We're also missing some blocks here and there in the run game, but overall, the blocking on the run is so much better than the pass blocking. But we're struggling there. A&M's trying to take that away. They're trying to make us one-dimensional. They're trying to make us prove we can pass. Well, here's the thing with Petrino. He's meticulous. We talked about that last week, and he knows plays are there to be had. And if you go back and break the film down and watch the plays, or even if you watch it the first time, you'll catch a lot of it. There's guys open, and we've got terrible pass protections happening, misassignments. Sometimes the receivers aren't running the right routes, doing the right route concepts, but a lot of times it's Green wanting to bolt way too soon. Green's biggest issues are he basically makes up his mind for his main guy on each play, like he's going through one progression, and that's 9 times out of 10 it's Armstrong. If you go back and watch that game, Tesla was open on so many plays. Satania was open on so many plays. Even Armstrong at times, but something else broke down. Protection broke down. I'm going to talk about it a lot in that last clip. We're gonna run that at a different time, another segment here. But a lot of times we'll be in a pass pro and they'll be running a rip or a Liz where they're getting overloaded on one side, like say to the right, so it's a slide protection to the right, and guys are still not doing their job. They're getting their eyes locked on a linebacker 5 yards off the ball, and they're getting their eyes taken away. And I will give Texas A&M credit. A&M ran some really good blitzes, did some exotic stuff a little bit, did a really good job with spine Green all game, and running some delayed blitzes, and it just really, that's what everybody's doing right now. It's on film. Oklahoma State was the first team to kind of expose that, and they're going to continue to do it. You're going to see 5, 6, 7 guys even at times come up to the line and some are coming, some aren't. And Green, until he gets to the point, and this line gets to the point where they can give him enough time to set his feet and throw to a guy, they're going to continue to do it. The thing with A&M was they were running spies for the most part, so when Green decided to break down and run, they cut that off even a lot. So, I mean, he was the leading rusher in all Power 4 conferences as a quarterback coming in, 325 yards before that game started. And, you know, they're really trying to take that away from him. And like I said, A&M probably did do the best job anybody's done. I mean, they did some awesome things defensively. So here's the thing, though. When pass pro breaks down, there's still probably half the time or more, there's guys open. But he's only going through one progression. So, I mean, if he's looking at only Armstrong, and they know that, and they're starting to give a little bit more, because, I mean, he's leading the team in receptions by far. It's not even close. They're giving him more, more guys are going over to him. They're bracketing him at times. He's got to look at some other guys, because if they're sending an extra couple guys on a lot of plays, there's guys open. If you got linebackers that are coming, and, and that's the good thing about A&M, what they did was, they would bring 6 guys up. So maybe they bring their outside linebacker over on the right side with Blackstock wide. And then they bring their middle linebacker up and their other linebacker. They bring them all up, basically. But sometimes they would bring the outsides, and drop the middle back. Or they'd have a nickel come up, and they would drop him in the middle back. And the outside linebackers would still come. And they would change it up so they didn't, you couldn't really ever know for sure who was coming for the most part. That kind of stuff is giving us issues, but Green's got to know, if he knows the passing play and what the route is, those guys that are coming, if you got 2 guys coming from the same area and a guy's running a dig right behind for an example, he's got to get the ball out quickly. It's catch the ball, 3-step drop, go. You got to know where the blitz is coming from. You got to hit guys, and he's really struggling in that. A couple other things I wanted to hit on real quick was, we talked about this a little bit last week. This is the first year in Petrino's offense, for this team, and there's some growing pains. Okay, it's a lot to learn, but what concerns me the most is there's some simple things that we're not seeing those steps taken forward every week. Now we get a top 5 team coming in Tennessee. Honestly, I think their defense is better than A&M's. Their personnel is for sure. I am impressed with what they did defensively, the defense coordinator at A&M, but Tennessee has some serious NFL potential on their defense, and their offense is definitely a notch up from what Texas A&M's and Auburn's was for sure. So it's a tough game. I'm not giving up on my Hogs. I'm not giving up on the coaching staff. I do see some good things, but they're going to have to make up a lot of ground here. They're going to take a huge step forward. I want to see a lot of fight from these Hogs and see if Pittman has control of the locker room, and these guys don't want to quit, because we all saw that there was some back and forth, Armstrong getting into it with Blackstock, stuff about the line of protection, and so there was a little bit of finger pointing. And we've heard all off season and in fall camp that this team is just full of leaders. So I want to see how they kind of come together this week. My prediction, I've seen crazier things than us winning a game like this. I've seen us win big time games that we were going to be way bigger underdogs than we are in this one. So it wouldn't shock me if we shocked the world a little bit, but I think they will play a really tough game. I think they'll hopefully take some steps in the right direction. We got to get Green out of the pocket more. He's got to roll out. He's got to. They got to get quick passes to him, little digs, little slants. Armstrong's great on those. I mean, that one catch, that slant against A&M that he made, and the defender was on him. He had a really strong hands. That was a beautiful play. They got to get more stuff like that going. I'm really concerned about the tight ends this week, because has really been battling his back all season. We saw it on his touchdown against Oklahoma State. And then Washington gets banged up in this game. Paskey, however you say it, he's been out for a while. So I'm really worried about the tight end position. But I think we're going to show some resiliency. That's what I want to see. I want to see a hard-fought game. I do feel like that's what's we're probably going to happen. We might get blown out. I don't know, but I really hope not to see that. I hope we take some steps forward. But I got a feeling in the long run we're going to lose this game. But I'm hoping it's going to be something like 27-24. But, man, I really hope we can pull the upset out. If some big things happen, it would be a big shot in the arm right now. Because I don't like seeing that those guys kind of hollering at each other and all that on the sideline, which I do like the fact that Green went over and stuck his nose in the middle of it and split it up, because I don't know if that would have happened last year. So I did like to see that. But I want to see some personnel changes possibly on the right side of the offensive line. Run blocking, they're pretty good. Pass blocking, they're really struggling. And I'm going to talk about that a little bit more in my next segment. But guys, you know, got to hold the rope. You Razorback fans, you got to just hope we see a little bit of progression this week and see the heart of this team, because it's gut check time right now. That's all I got on this segment of Grillin' the Razorbacks with Jaran Miller. Hey, if you've never liked or followed us on Facebook, go ahead and hit that. If you're watching this on YouTube, go ahead and hit the subscribe button, ring the bell. We'd really appreciate it here at the Arkansas Sports Network. Thank y'all, guys.